I'm Kerin Bailey, pianist, teacher and composer of educational / leisure pieces, ranging in level from easy to advanced and for all instruments. Now today I'm going to be demonstrating on the piano, but what I'm going to play can be played on any instrument. The piece I've chosen is Mullumbimby Bounce from Jazzin Round 4, which is about a grade 3 piece, and it's in a few exam syllabuses, and some of them require improvisation, so modern piano syllabus. So I'll give you some tips today for doing that to get you through an exam, and I've come up with 5 easy steps to do that, ranging from the first couple are quite easy and then they get a little bit harder, so that by step 5 you're combining various elements into a reasonably advanced improvisation. So first up, I'm going to demonstrate just the first 8 bars of this piece. Now that was the A section. It's an AABA piece, which is standard 32 bar song form, ideal for improvising on. And I'm just going to give you the tips for the first 8 bars, and that can be applied to the rest of the piece. Okay, step 1. Which is simple. It's simply embellishing the piece with passing notes, auxiliary notes or neighbouring tones, and blue notes. Now you might have noticed there are some blue notes in that example. So first of all, in the first bar, we can put a passing note in. That's simply a note between 2 of the existing melody notes. So instead of, we've got just adding a passing note there. Second bar doesn't need much. There's the blue note. Next bar, there's another passing note. Instead of, we've got 3, 4, 1. And the next bar, I'll put a passing note between a okay. In the next bar, there's 2 passing notes. We've got that leap of a 4th, so we can fill that in with 2 passing notes, which makes a nice scale pattern there. Now in the next bar, I've added a neighbouring tone. Instead of, I've added a neighbouring tone underneath the A as a triplet. Nice effect. Another passing note in bar 7. That's the original. So I'm going to, from the B flat to the D, another passing note. So some simple steps there to make the piece a little bit more interesting, and I think that would be enough in a grade 3 exam to impress the examiner that you know, you've done some homework on that and fulfilled the requirements for the exam. You can apply that then to the next A section, which we're not going to deal with today, but use the same techniques. If you've got a melody note, say a 1/3 apart, just a simple passing note. 4th apart, 2 passing notes, change the rhythm a little bit to accommodate that. Now you will have noticed that on the original music for this, which I put up at the start, the chord symbols are there. and they are on many of my pieces that lend themselves to improvisation. So step 2, we're going to cover the chords in this piece. I've simplified them a little bit, but we start with an F chord. You can do these separately. Left hand. Second bar is F7th, so we're adding the dominant 7th. 4 beats of that. That leads, of course, to B flat. We flatten the third of that chord to get B flat minor. F, C7. Now one step away, simply lowering the B flat to A, we get A minor. And D7 follows that. You're in position for that one. That, of course, leads to G minor. I suggest 4th finger on the bottom note. And that leads easily to C7. Next step would be to cover those chords with your right hand, etc. Now that you have the shapes of the right hand chords under your fingers, we're going to play them as broken chords. Whatever patterns you like, mix it up, repeat notes, get a feel for that, and then combine the left hand chords with the right hand broken chords. Just the triad shapes. So you can see that step 3, we're arpeggiating the chords, but in musical phrases. So we're using the same hand position, notice, as we did in step 2. So the notes are all under your fingers. Once you've mastered stepping from one chord to another, this is quite easy. So simple rhythm might be already we've got a fairly interesting melody there. Next bar, we go to the B flat chord, still under your fingers. B flat minor. And so on through to the end. When you've mastered that, you can add the chords in the left hand. Now it's the same chords from step 2. Okay, they fit nicely under the hand. And I presume by now you will have mastered those, so then we can put it together and it sounds like this. Which is reasonably melodic. Step 4 is step 3 again, but we're going to jazz it up a little bit with articulation and some syncopation. Now, the articulation I have marked, so we get, I didn't play them in the previous example, but now so the running quaver or 8th note passages are legato. That's a general rule in jazz. And the staccato, of course, just adds that interest and makes the music come more alive. Now, syncopation is the displacement of the beat or accent. You can do a lot with accents, actually. Well, I'm not going to discuss those now. So let's look at note values and rests, how you can use those. For example, in the first bar, third beat, 8th note, I'm going to make that a rest and turn the fourth beat into an eighth note, and it gives us this. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay, that's quite jazzy. You could do the same thing in, or similar in bar 3. So instead of the repeated D, we could make that a rest. And you'd make that D the staccato. That's quite jazzy, especially when you swing it. You can hear that there. So that's values and rests. Now ties, I deliberately put some repeated notes in so that we can easily tie them over. Bar 2 now becomes, next bar we can do the same. Okay, there's another tying bar 5 across the bar line there. I beg your pardon. We could tie that one. Okay, that's an easy one. And in the last bar, tying the E's over there. So some simple things, but very effective. So now we'll move on to step 5 and combine all these aspects and see what we can come up with. So there you have the finished product, combining steps 1 through to 4, the neighbouring tones, auxiliary notes, arpeggios, some passing notes, etc. and some syncopation. I'll just point out a couple of those. In bar 5, that's a very important jazz phrase. There's another one at the end of the bar in bar 7. Also notice the chromatic passing note there, the B natural on the way down there. So, I hope that's been of some help to potential improvisers, and good luck with that, and good luck if you improvise in an exam, and hopefully that will help. Thanks for watching.